Okay guys, so we just finished with number 8, so I'm going to move on to number 9. We did this one in class, but just in case some of you were still confused on it, I'm going to go ahead and review this. So the key is posted on eClass, you can check that, but I'm going to go ahead and help you guys solve this. Okay, again, mine is not drawn to scale at all. Alright, so just for lack of representation, we're going to shade it in just like the picture. So this says 7 centimeters. Whoops, sorry guys. 10 centimeters, 5 centimeters, and that's it. This says 2 centimeters, and that says 2 centimeters. Okay, so it says that we need to find the area of the shaded region. Now, if I wish I had another color. I'm going to go ahead and say, I'm going to split these into 2 separate shapes. So this shape right here, and this shape right here. Now again, this is not drawn to scale, but if this is 5, I'm going to go ahead and label the sides. If this is 5, and that part is 3, the difference to get to 5 must be 2, so that's why this side is going to be 2 centimeters. And if this whole thing is 10, and this is supposed to be 7, my difference to get to 10 would be 3 centimeters. So I can go ahead and calculate the area for this little shape down here. My base is 3, so 3 times my height, which is 2, gives me 6 centimeters squared. So that is for this shape right here. Now I gotta calculate this shape. Now this is the tricky part, is that we have something that's not shaded in. So I'm gonna go ahead and calculate the area for the whole shape. 10 centimeters is the same thing right here, so that's my base, right? So my base is 10 times my height, which is 3, gives me a total of 30 centimeters squared for my area. However, we need to subtract this section away from that 30 in order to find just the shaded region. So if this is 2 and that's 2, my base will be 2 as well. So 2, which is base, times my height, which is 2, gives me 4 centimeters squared. So I had 30 centimeters squared for the whole shape minus the 4 centimeters squared for what's not shaded in, gives me 26 centimeters squared just for that top shape, okay? So we need to add this to that 6 centimeters squared, which is the shape on the bottom. So I should get a total of 32 centimeters squared for my total area, okay? So I'm gonna move on to number 10. Again, we did this one in class, but in case you guys were still confused, I'm going to do it for you too. Oops, sorry. So, number 10 reads, find the area of the regular polygon. Hint, divide the polygon into 6 equilateral triangles. So, my best representation of my polygon. Okay, so the polygon, it goes to tell you a little bit of information. So first I'm going to split this into 6 equilateral triangles, okay? So right now I have 2 trapezoids. Wow, that's the worst straight line, guys. I told you I cannot do straight lines. Okay, so now I have 6 equilateral triangles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are not 2 separate triangles. I'm talking about that shape, okay? So this 3.4 is saying that little length here. So all these lengths, all these sides are 3.4. All of these are 3.4. And I'm trying to make a point right here. So if I'm just looking at this triangle in question, I know, wow, so sorry I blocked that out. I know that my base is 3.4 centimeters and my height is 2.9. Now, I wouldn't suggest dividing 3.4 by 2 and then calculating it separately because that's working really hard and not really smart. So I'm just going to say this is a triangle. And my formula to find the area of a triangle is base times height divided by 2. So my base is 3.4 times my height, which is 2.9, divided by 2. I get my area just for this triangle is, give me 1 second, 3.4 times 2.9, it gives me 9.86, then I divide that by 2, I get 4.93. So again, that is the area of just that triangle. I have 6 triangles like that, so I'm just going to take the area of that triangle and multiply it by 6. So my total area for this whole shape is 29.58 centimeters squared. Okay? Alright, so let's move on. Number 11. So we did not do these in class, but I can totally do these. It says Rhode Island, which is shaped like a rectangle, has a total land area of approximately 1,200 square miles. So that's really important to know because we're going to use that later. If Rhode Island is approximately, let's go ahead and kind of fill in our values. So this whole area of Rhode Island says that it is 1,200 square miles. Okay, it says that it is 40 miles long, so 40 miles long. It asks about how wide is it. So now it's not asking, this is an area problem, but it's not asking for the area. It actually gives you the area. So I know that for rectangles, my formula is area equals base times height. I'm given area, so I'm going to plug that in, 1,200. And I'm given my base, which is 40. However, I'm not given my height, so I'm going to represent that with the variable, okay? So I need to get that by itself to figure out what my height is. So I'm going to divide, going to use my inverse operation of division on both sides, and I find out that my height is actually equal to 30 miles. And you can confirm by doing 40 times 30, which gives you 1,200, okay? So that's how you do that, and I think you guys didn't ask that because that was pretty self-explanatory. So let's keep going. It says the area of a triangle is 140 square meters. So again, it starts off with giving you the area. So 140 square meters. Now it says that the height of the triangle is 20 meters. And it says what is the base. So I'm going to go ahead and plug in my information. The formula for the area of a triangle is base times height divided by 2. If my area is equal to 140, it says what is my base, I'm going to leave that alone, I'm going to keep my variable, times my height, which is 20, divided by 2. Now first off, I need to get rid of this fraction. So I'm going to multiply, which is the inverse operation of addition. I'm going to multiply by 2 and I get rid of 2. So I get 280, okay? So next, I'm left with b times 20. So if I know that b times 20 is multiplication, I need to use the inverse, right? So my inverse, sorry, give me 1 second. I know my inverse would be division. So this can be written as 20b as well. So that would help you guys to see that in a little bit of a easier manner. So if I divide by 20 on both sides, I'm left with b, and 280 divided by 20 would give me 14. So B is 14, my base is 14. And you guys can totally plug that back in and confirm that gives you an area of 140, okay? All right, so let's moving on. That's funny. All right, so number 13, it says you need, actually we did that one in class, but I'll quickly go through that one. Okay, so number 13 says you need to carpet a rectangular room in your house that measures 12 feet by 18 feet. The cost of the carpet is $1.25 per square foot. How much will you pay for carpeting? So this actually doesn't ask for the area. You'll have to find the area, but that's not the direct question. It asks for total cost. So I'm going to find the area. So base times height, I'm going to do 12 times 18, and I get my area is 216 feet squared. So that's my total area, but then I need to find the cost. So it says the cost is actually $1.25 per square foot. So what I want to do is take my total area and multiply that by $1.25, and I find that in order to put all this carpet down, it's going to cost me $270. Okay, so let's move on. So the next bit, we went over this in class as well, but I posted a key that has the area for each figure. But if you want to kind of take a shortcut, you can find the area of just 3 figures. So I'm going to show you guys how you kind of would do that. Again, this is not drawn to scale. Okay. Alrighty. So I know, whoops, this should probably be a little higher. Okay, so I know this actually could be considered a shape. This could be considered a shape, like a rectangle, and so is this. So in my picture, I'm so sorry, but I'm going to leave off units just so for lack of space. Actually, no, I think I could fit them in there. Yeah, I got it. 3.1. Oh. And then this is 5 centimeters, 3.1 centimeters, and 5 centimeters, and 3.1 centimeters. So instead of taking my time to find every single shape, which you guys totally can, so just mark those A, B, C, D, E, and F shapes if you are doing that. That way you keep your work organized. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to block this shape off. Okay, so I know this is 3.1. That means that this length is 5 centimeters because it's the same as that. So I can use that length for that section. This is 3.1, so this section is 3.1 as well. And that little section is 5 centimeters. So if I add these all together, I get 10 plus 3.1 is 16.2. So this whole section, can I erase that real quick, is 16.2 centimeters, okay? So that's my height. And my base is actually 7.4 centimeters, just like the top. So if I figure out what 16.2 times 7.4 is, I find my total area for this shape right here. And that is, I'm going to call it A, this will be B, and that will be C. So that area is going to be 119.88 centimeters squared. So now I have to find the area of B, and that is basically base, which is 3.1, times my height, which is 5, should give me 15.5 centimeters squared. And lastly, C has the same measurements as B, so I can say that's 15.5 as well. So if I add all these together, I'm going to get 150.88 centimeters squared. Okay? So that's how you would do number 14. Now number 15, I think for some reason this stumped a couple of you. So I'm going to make sure you guys understand this one. So right here, I have a poorly drawn square pyramid. Okay? So the first one, it gives me measurements of 5 inches from here to there. And it says this part is 6 inches tall. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and calculate the area of this square right here. So this square has the same sides. So I can safely assume that this is 5 inches, this is 5 inches, and that's 5 inches. So my base times my height for this square would give me 25 inches squared for the area of that square, okay? Now, if I know that the height of this triangle is 6 inches, I know that the base is also 5. Again, you don't need to do 2.5 times 6 plus 2.5 times 6 divided by 2 for each side. You don't need to do that and add. That's a lot of work. So I'm going to say this is one whole triangle. So the area of the triangle would be 6 times 5 divided by 2. So I would have A equals 30 divided by 2, which is 15. And then I could take that 15, because that 15 represents 15 inches squared for only one triangle.